Hello and welcome, I'm your CodeMonkey. In this lecture we're going to begin actually building our game. So let's create a completely empty project and start building it all from scratch. Okay, so the first thing that we need is to install Unity. Now I covered this in detail in that other basics video, so here I will assume that you already have Unity Hub installed. The first decision we really need to make is choosing a Unity version. So on Unity Hub you go into Installs and install an editor. And now Unity recommends that you use the LTS version or long-term support. You should be using that one in most cases. It's what it installs by default, which as of the time of this recording, the latest LTS one is 2021.3. However, I want this video to stay up to date for as long as possible, so for making this game, I will actually be using version 2022.2. If you're watching this video right as it came out, then download this version. And if you're watching this months in the future, after version 22 LTS is out, then you can use that one. It won't probably be the exact same thing as version 22.2, so you should be able to follow everything exactly. For any changes, I will point them out in the updated pinned comment. And if you're watching this years in the future and there's an even newer LTS version, I would still recommend you follow using the 22 LTS. Don't worry about using a quote-unquote older version. Everything you'll learn here in this version will still be applicable even 10 years from now. So like I said, I'm going to be installing this one. And in terms of modules, it doesn't really need anything. I already have Visual Studio Community installed and all of the other ones are unticked, so install. Okay, so the version is installed. Now let's create a new project. Let's go into the Projects tab. Then create a new project. And now first up here, make sure to select the right version. So again, I'm going to be using 22.2. Then for the templates, this has mainly to do with the Unity render pipelines. Now, if you're a beginner, don't worry about that too much. Just go ahead and select the 3D URP template. So scroll down, this one right here, 3D URP. Make sure to select this one and not the one that says just 3D. The URP here stands for the Universal Render Pipeline, which means our game will be playable on literally any platform. So we can make the final game and put it on Steam or consoles or mobile. It will run on everything. Then over here on the right side, let's quickly just download the template. There it is, it's done. Now select the name for your project. So I'm going to call this Kitchen Chaos and then select the folder for it. Alright, so that's it. Again, make sure you're using the exact right version. Make sure you're using the 3D URP template. Give it a name, a folder, and let's hit on create. Alright, so it's open, and right away you might or might not see a window talking about URP material upgrades. I think this has to do with the template not having the default materials updated to the latest URP version. So if you're watching this in the future, chances are you might not see this one at all. But if you do, then just go ahead, click on OK, and it will automatically upgrade all of the default materials. Alright, so here we have our basic Unity window. Now, since we started a project starting from the URP template, we have down here a bunch of URP helper files. So you can click to select the README file and you can see it over here on the right side on the inspector. If you want, you can browse around these links in order to learn more about URP, but in our case, for building our game, we really don't need this. So over here on the inspector, let's just click this button to clean up these README files. Just go ahead, click on yes. And okay, that's it. So basically you should only have these files in your project window. So there's the scene folder and inside we've got the sample scene. Then we've got the settings and inside a bunch of URP assets. All this should have been set up automatically since we use the 3D template. And then finally we just have the URP global settings asset. Now let's just verify everything worked correctly. So let's go to the top left, go into edit, then go down into project settings. Then over here, let's go into the graphics tab and you should see the URP high fidelity asset assigned by default. If not, you can click on the circle icon and assign it. Then the other menus over here, the URP global settings. Again, this one should be set by default. Then down here on the quality tab, on this one, make sure high fidelity is selected. Basically, whatever you select here is the quality that we'll be using in the editor. And in turn, the selected quality over here also has a render pipeline asset. Now, in order to avoid any confusion, let's actually get rid of the other ones. So let's just click on the trash icon to get rid of the performance and the balance quality. So just click and click. Okay, so we only have this one. Then let's close the project settings and let's go into the settings folder. And over here, let's select the URP balance. There are two assets for each quality. So select those, leave the high fidelity and the performance, and let's delete these. All right, that's it. By the way, if you made a mistake and accidentally deleted something, don't worry. You can always just click over here on the plus icon on the project window and then go over here under rendering and you can create a new URP asset with universal render. Okay, so just like this. So we only have one quality setting. We have high fidelity. The quality setting is using this render pipeline asset, which is also using this renderer. So that's really it. With this, we have the absolute bare minimum we need. If in the end, after building the whole game, you want to provide multiple quality settings, then you can come back to this menu and recreate them. But in order to avoid confusion while building the game, let's keep things like this as simple as possible. Okay, so that's the basic setup done. Next, we want to prepare our layout, so let's continue on to the next lecture.